Hello and welcome to eChineseLearning Pod, your go-to podcast for learning Chinese and exploring Chinese culture. To protect speakers' privacy and enhance audio quality, some or all voices in this episode are created with AI assistance.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Emma.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex. And today we're going to talk about something that almost every language learner has experienced, but maybe hasn't really thought deeply about.
Yes, today's topic is language learning systematically versus learning in a scattered, fragmented way.
Because let's be honest, most of us don't start learning a language in a very organized way.
Exactly. We pick up a word here, a phrase there, maybe a short video, a random post, a sentence we heard in a drama.
Right. And at first, that actually feels pretty good. You feel like, oh, I'm learning. I know a lot of expressions now.
But then at some point you hit a wall.
Yes, you know many things, but they don't connect. You can recognize words, but forming sentences feels hard. Speaking feels stressful.
That's because what you've built isn't a system. It's more like a pile of puzzle pieces without the picture on the box.
I really like that analogy. And interestingly, this isn't just a feeling. Cognitive science actually supports this idea.
Exactly. Research in learning science shows that systematic learning helps the brain build stronger mental structures, often called schemas.
Which basically means your brain doesn't store knowledge as isolated facts. It stores them in networks.
So when you learn things in a structured way, sounds, vocabulary, grammar, usage, context, your brain knows where to put new information.
Whereas when learning is completely fragmented, the brain has to work much harder every time you try to recall or use the language.
That's why many learners say, I understand when I read, but I can't speak.
Or, I've learned for years, but I still don't feel confident.
Exactly. Confidence often comes from structure, not just exposure.
Let me ask you this, Emma. Do you think fragmented learning is totally useless?
Not at all. I think it's actually very helpful as a supplement. Short videos, daily phrases, real-world expressions, they're great for motivation and real-world feel.
That's an important distinction.
Yeah, and actually, fragmented learning does have a real advantage when it's used in the right way.
Yeah, especially as a form of review.
Exactly. Research on memory and learning shows that short, repeated exposure is one of the most effective ways to strengthen what you've already learned.
So things like short videos, quick phrases, or daily expressions are perfect for reviewing and reinforcing knowledge, not necessarily building the whole system from scratch.
They also help learners make the best use of fragmented time and energy, those few minutes on the subway, in line, or between tasks.
Instead of wasting that time, fragmented learning turns it into low-pressure, high-efficiency reinforcement.
So when it's built on top of a solid learning framework, fragmented learning isn't shallow at all. It's actually incredibly powerful. But without a system underneath, they sometimes can't accumulate efficiently.
It's like decorating a house before the foundation is finished.
Exactly. It might look nice, but it won't feel stable.
And another thing research points out is long-term retention. Systematic learning improves memory retention and transfer, the ability to use what you learn in new situations.
Which is exactly what language learning is about. Not repeating memorized sentences, but adapting to real conversations.
So if you're learning Chinese, for example, a system helps you understand why sentences are structured the way they are, not just what to say.
And once you understand the logic, learning new content actually becomes faster, not slower.
That's such a key point. Systematic learning isn't about being rigid, it's about becoming more flexible in the long run.
So if you're listening and thinking, that explains a lot, you're definitely not alone.
Many learners reach a stage where they realize they don't need more content, they need better organization.
And that's often when guided, structured learning becomes really valuable.
Yeah, having a clear learning path, logical progression, and feedback can save a lot of time and frustration.
If you're at that stage, it might be worth exploring a more systematic approach to Chinese learning.
And if you're curious, we do offer structured Chinese courses designed to help learners connect the dots and build a solid foundation, step by step.
Yes, just something to keep in mind as you reflect on your own learning journey.
Because learning a language isn't just about learning more, it's about learning smarter.
Exactly. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you next time.
Want to practice what you've learned today with a real Chinese teacher? You can get a free one-on-one trial lesson at eChineseLearning.com. That's it for today's episode of eChineseLearning Pod. Thanks for tuning in.